One.
And now we're in the 2-minute warm-up.
2-minute warm-up, Mayor.
Oh boy. Are you getting us on?
Yes.
Okay.
Here we are. We made it.
Up. And now we're trying to warm up. Maybe I'll sit down while I'm warming up. I wish we could have a fire in the fireplace. Okay, is that okay?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. I'm sitting down for the 2-minute warm-up, trying to warm up, John.
Yes. Another cold day.
Yeah. Very cold day on the river. Windy, cold.
Hi, Candy. Good to see you.
Cold day in the house. I got my coat on. I usually wear my bathrobe over my clothes, but I thought it's probably not the most aesthetic thing to do.
Hi, Judy.
So
Good
I
to see you.
switched to a coat, a heavy wool coat.
She said you look beautiful.
Oh, thanks. Do you have heat again, Judy? You're back into operations. That's horrible. And Candy, I guess where you are, it's bitter cold. We're supposed to get a little bit warmer now.
Slowly.
Yeah, that's a mess.
Hi, Krista. Good to see you.
Hey. Yeah, we're supposed to get a little warmer. And Krista, I think, is really cold. How cold is it? Who has the lowest temperature?
Hi, Carla. Good to see you. Oh, 9 o'clock.
Oh, 9 o'clock, the warm-up's over. Now I get to stand up. Oh, boy, I'm so nice and warm. That 2-minute warm-up warmed me right up. And
hey, Michelle. Good to see
a
you.
little tip that you learn from me is I always wear a belt.
Good to see you.
Hi, everybody. I always wear a belt on top of my coat. If I can, it keeps the cold air from blowing up your back and all. So that's why I have a belt on, just to keep the heat in.
Hey, Sweet and Sassy Crafting.
So,
good to see you.
Hey,
Hi,
everybody.
Martha. Good to see you.
It's Marilyn and John with Done By Me, coming to you live from Magnolia Hall on the Delaware. And we are in the kitchen.
Candy says it might be 25 tomorrow where she is.
Oh, boy. Woo!
Rowena May, that's Kelly?
Yeah.
Hey, Kelly, good to see you.
No, is that Kelly?
I don't know, is it?
Wait a minute.
I don't know.
I so cockily say, oh, yes, and then I'm like, wait a minute. Trying to remember everybody's name and their pages and all. It's a lot for old people.
Yeah, and it's late for us.
Yeah, and it's late. Although we go to bed, what time? After midnight.
And yeah, we never go. It's terrible.
And we have what's the physician called, the service?
Concierge.
We have a concierge physician. And so we talk to him on the phone if we have a problem a lot of times and all. It's really a great...
Hi, Dina. Good to
for
see
us,
you.
it works out well. But John mentioned to him that we don't go to bed.
says it's -6 there.
Where is she?
She wins. I don't know where she is. Oh, no. Sweet and Sassy says it's -9. Oh, this morning. Hey, Miriam. Good to see you.
Yeah, tell us
Hi,
where
Randy,
you live so I
you.
never go there. But when we told our doctor that we go to bed, try to get to bed before midnight, but usually doesn't happen, he says, that's not good.
That's not good. I don't think we ever get to bed before 1:45.
Yeah. We're up and about, but that's good because...
Hey, Michelle says it's going to be 19 tomorrow.
Oh, boy, heat wave.
Sweet and Sassy's in Vermont.
Oh, boy, we're not moving to Vermont.
Hey, Ruth, good to see you.
I know I have relatives in Maine, and it's cold up there. I haven't spoken to them recently, but I know it's cold. So we're deviating today, and we're in the kitchen, and we're going to cook. Now, we've been in the kitchen, but the other end of the island facing the other way, if you noticed before. Now we're at this end of the island facing this way.
Hey, Connie, good to see you.
So
she loves your bug pin. It's beautiful.
Oh, thanks. That's when we had the store. We had all costume jewelry, but kind of fun things. Down the shore, things are so different. So today, we're doing some food.
It's only 9:03. Just so you know.
Thank you. So we're not doing food today. So we thought we'd do a cooking project today in the kitchen, and this is something you can make any time of year, but I particularly enjoyed around Valentine's. And
Getting hearts.
oh, thanks for the hearts, guys.
Miriam says it's 15 degrees. It's a heat wave in Albany. Hey, Cheryl, good to see you.
What did it get up to today? High 20-something?
Maybe.
Yeah, it's cold, but
Ruth
whatever.
says she's so glad brooches are making a comeback.
Oh, are they?
Country Family
Let me
Roots.
get my.
Good to see you.
Let me get my water. My water. We say in this area,
Krista.
water like WOODER.
And she's in Wisconsin. Thanks, Country Family Roots, for the sprinkling.
And beauty of living on the river. We're all familiar with these cups. And I saw somebody had one a while back when they first were popular. And I said something to them. And I forget how much they were. And I'm like, I would never own one of those cups. But lo and behold, we were walking along the edge of the river, and the river gave this to me. And so I was thrilled. I had to scrub it up and use magic eraser on the outside and all. And you know your phone listens to you. So I was saying to John, oh, I'm going to have to find a lid for it. I think they need a lid. I go on to Facebook, and the first thing that shows up on Marketplace is a lid to the Yeti cup. And so I text the woman I wanted it, and she said, well, I actually have 2 different ones. You could pick which one you want. And I thought that was pretty funny.
Country Family Roots says, oh, how fun.
Yeah.
Hey, Linda Farmer, good to see you.
Hi, Linda.
Sure
So I have
loves your pin also.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we had necklaces, pins. I have some dragonfly ones. Dina didn't come on yet, did she?
Yeah.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Hi, Dina.
She said hello.
So John's going to tell you we're
Krista
talking
said, I'm
about.
glad you're cooking. She hasn't had dinner yet.
Oh boy, this is really delicious. But John, you were talking about the dragonfly being symbolic, and John has a story to tell you about that.
So this is, I don't remember what year it was now, but we still had our store, and our routine was to head down. Hey, Carol, good to see you. Head down to get up early, we pack the car Friday night, and then get up and get moving, and we had to get down to the store before 9:30.
If the store opens at 10, I want to be all ready, and we would bring things from inside and put it out front as we were on a busy highway, so people would see it as they drove by. We put the music on, set up the register. You know, there are a lot of things that you want to do, and I like, if I'm opening at 10, you know, from my school teacher ideas, I want to be all organized, and about 10 to 10, we unlock the door and people can come in as they get there.
Miriam said your cup cost $35. She looked it up.
Oh, really? And the river gave it to me.
So anyway, my father had died Friday in the early afternoon, and we're driving down to the shore on a highway, and of course that particular day we got a later start than usual, of course, and now we're hitting traffic. And
It's on a big highway, bumper to bumper, to the Jersey Shore.
And all of a sudden, this huge dragonfly shows up right at my windshield, like at eye level. And Marilyn's like, "Oh my God, I've never seen a dragonfly so big."
And I love dragonflies.
And I said, I don't think I've ever seen one that big either. Not that I've been paying attention, but it was pretty big. And so the funny thing is, it's, you know how they fly and then whoop, they're gone? Nope, this dragonfly stayed with the car, bumper to bumper, for about an hour before it
And
finally
we would
left.
like drive them. car started moving and we'd like drive a mile, not fast, but drive a mile, and it kept banging on the window next to John on his door, you know, the window on his door, kept banging on it. And
so Marilyn said, "That's your dad, John."
Yep, that's your dad. But my mom gave me my first piece of dragonfly jewelry when I was in elementary school, and I just loved it so, and I've collected it ever since. So I'm going to take eggs, 3 eggs, and I let them warm up. It says room temperature, but my room temperature is probably, 45 or 50 in here.
No, it's warmer than that.
But it said room temperature, and we want to separate them. So we'll see how good this is. I used to be so good at this, but my shaky hand is a little bit of a curse here. And I don't want to get even a drop of the yolk in. So I'm losing a little bit of white, so we do one at a time and put it in just in case one of the piece of yolk gets in there and we can't use that egg. And I thought I had an egg separator. I never used one before, but I was thinking, oh, my hand's so shaky today. But of course, whoop, 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 whoop. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to get that out. I got a little bit of yolk in there, John.
Candy says she does believe in those things as well, and what a sweet, touching thing on that day.
No, I'm not going to. That had yolk in it, guys, so I'm not going to use that. But we'll have scrambled eggs tomorrow.
Oh, boy.
I'm just rinsing this out because even one little drop of yolk kind of spoils it. Let me wipe this. Let's start out again. I have 1 egg in there. But even one drop of yolk will keep the whites from getting nice and foamy. And I've never ruined an egg before, but of course today will be the first. And just hope you don't get this shaken hand syndrome.
Hi, Jude. Good to see you.
It's really annoying. Your brain's telling you one thing, but your hand is a free spirit. That's 2. And I don't know whether they're concerned about the bird flu where you are. I know
Martha
that
says her guest bathroom is done in dragonflies. The knobs on her vanity has dragonflies on them as well as the shower curtain.
Well, I'm coming to stay at your house. But the price of eggs is going up here, and people are concerned. I think there was a swan, or what was it, a swan, John? Just rinsing my hands, guys.
A goose?
A goose or a swan. I think it was a swan they found tested positive, maybe in Pennsylvania. But it makes you start thinking, let me stick this over here.
Marilyn hasn't told us yet, Jude.
What's that?
What are you making?
Oh, I'm not sure yet either. So I have 3 egg whites in here. As soon as I know what I'm making, I'll let you know. And my mixer is really loud, but it's working. So we're just eating those egg whites so they're nice and frothy. And we're going to add, I had to get my cookbook out. We're going to have to add a 1/4 teaspoon.
Carol says there's a flock of ducks that were found dying in Austin, Texas on a pond here. Carol says because of the bird flu, they are recommending people keep the cats indoors. They found a bird in Seattle with it. Martha says, come on. Marion says, bird flu? Candy said it could change into scrambled eggs. Ha ha.
So I added a quarter teaspoon of cream of tartar. I'm sorry it's backwards, but it's cream of tartar. Not to be confused with steak tartare. And I don't know whether, can you see in the mixer, John? Now that I turned it, can you see?
Yeah.
I turned it, now watch. Yeah, now you can see it's really nice and stiff and all. If there was even one drop of yolk, it wouldn't get this volume that it's getting.
Hi, Linda G. Good to see you.
And it's just the 3 egg whites, and I had them at room temperature because that helps them volumize, helps them become better volume, whatever the word is. Don't you hate that when you can't think of it? Oh, I want to impress my friends and I don't know English language.
Hi, Tanya. Good to see you.
So you're going to keep Tammy
Gomez.
Oh, Tammy Gomez. Hi, Tammy. How are the kids? So I'm just letting this go until it becomes kind of glossy, and I think you can see in there. And now I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of vanilla. You guys know what I'm making?
Charles says aerate.
Oh, aerate, yeah. I'm adding a half a teaspoon of vanilla, and I try to use pure
She
vanilla.
says she'd definitely be making my husband eggs. Just kidding.
I used to make years ago, we're going back to like 1973. I used to make what I thought was an omelet.
Tanya says the kids are good. She's washing dishes and Blake's playing the piano.
Oh boy, that's nice. Except you can't hear them over this.
Tell them hey.
So we have the vanilla in here and the cream of tartar and the 3 eggs, and it really looks nice and if you can see, it's really nice and stiff. Now I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of sugar, but I'm not going to add it all at the same time.
Miriam says meringue.
So I told those that have been with me for a while, I talked about this dessert before. And John's going to give you a little bit of a history of the dessert. 3/4 of a cup of sugar. And I moved things to the other side so I remember that I added them. There's not that many today, but a lot of times if I have a lot of stuff, I totally forget. And I'm a big, oh, now, like, my vocabulary is horrible. You just add a little sugar at a time, but I feel like I want to clean up as I go.
Tammy says divinity? Question mark.
No.
Miriam said meringue. Martha says divinity.
So, John's going to give you a little bit of the history of this dessert. This was it's called Pavlova, and it's named after a Russian ballerina that went, can you picture in the 20s? Thanks for the hearts, guys. In the 20s, she went to,
Miriam says cookies.
She
says angel food cake.
Anna Pavlova in the 1920s.
Hey, Pat, good to see you.
This is the 20s, too. I forgot about that.
She guessed it.
Oh, good. Who guessed it?
Pat.
Oh, good.
him. Candy said angel kisses.
She went to visit got on a plane in like 1920s and went to Australia to dance. She was a famous ballerina, one of the top ballerinas in the country.
Thanks, Linda.
And John will give you what he looked up. But they wanted to honor her with something, so they made this dessert and named it after her, Pavlova. So John, do you want to tell them what exactly?
So what I looked up, this is the synopsis of what I read, that the dessert Pavlova, which I always mispronounce. Hey, BB Crafts, good to see you. That's Bernice, right?
Bernice, yeah.
It's a meringue-based dessert. So it was named after the Russian ballerina Anna Pavlova. The dessert is believed to have been created in honor of her after one of her tours to Australia and New Zealand in the 1920s. Thanks, Bernice, for sprinkling. And it is frequently served during celebratory and holiday meals in those countries of Australia and New Zealand. And it takes the form of a cake-like circular block of baked meringue, and then it has a crisp crust and a soft, light inside. And it's usually topped with fruit and whipped cream, and typically the fruit used is kiwi and or strawberries.
So you can make this any shape. The more traditional one is one big round one. I usually make individual ones, but I've also made them heart shaped where I just trace the cookie cutter on here. You can use a round pan if you want.
Right, Pat, correct.
My cookbook says use brown paper, and that's what I used to do, the brown paper grocery bag. I recycled that into the paper, but now I'm using parchment, but I heard that parchment's not a healthy choice to use so I don't know, I didn't read any further to see why you shouldn't use parchment, but they say it has some toxic chemicals. But they also say don't use the nonstick pans. There's a lot of stuff you're not supposed to use. And I would suspect even the brown paper has things that you don't want to expose yourself to. But I would always tell my students, the miners
Hey, Fredna, good to see you.
would take canaries into the mines, and if there was a gas leak, if the canary keeled over, they knew to get out of the mine immediately. If you read about it, if you have pet birds, you're not supposed to have them anywhere near your nonstick. I should take this off. I'll have to rinse it off. You should not have it anywhere near your pet birds. That it's not a good thing for them. So what I have now, and you can see it's just so light and fluffy. John loves anything like this, like the fluffy stuff. He loves that icing. And
7-minute icing?
7-minute icing. Yeah, I'll have to make that one time on here. I don't even remember how I make it. I have to look it up. I used to remember all these recipes back in the day. Now I don't remember anything. Good and bad, I just don't remember like I did. There's just too much in my brain going on. And you can see this, can you, John? And you can see it's really fluffy. And you don't have to draw the circle. I guess you can, yeah. You can swipe the words away if you want. You don't, but I just find the circle gives me a little guidance if I want it to be round. But like I said, typically it's one big round one that you would make. And it says it serves 8. I typically make 4 of these. But if you're having company, You would make one big one maybe, or you can make smaller ones. But it's just the egg white, 3 egg whites, 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar, a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, and 3/4 cup of sugar. It's really not a lot of ingredients.
And the 3 eggs.
Yeah, and the 3 egg whites. And like I said, do the eggs one at a time in something separate, because you saw the one I dropped a little yolk in, and I could have maybe worked with getting it out, but since I already had a couple yolks that I had started, I just fear we'll have eggs tomorrow. Extra cholesterol eggs.
Huh.
Have you seen pictures of this? I'll show you the book.
Michelle says, yep, she never lets her African gray near the stove when she cooks because of the pans.
Yeah. Yeah, all this stuff, and the beauty of Facebook is, you know, the internet and all, you can learn an awful lot. Like years ago.
Getting hearts.
Oh, thanks for the hearts, guys. Years ago, you wouldn't know all this stuff. I know my mom said when she was young, my grandmother had a canary, and it was real cold, and my mom moved it over so it was over where the heat came out of the floor, and I guess it was coal heat, and she said that the fumes, you have to be so careful about wording here. The canary was not chirping the next day, we'll just say.
Getting hearts again.
Thanks, guys. So, you can...
Hey, Claudia, good to see you. She
Hi,
says,
Claudia.
how are you tonight?
Doing good. Glad you made it. You can, like I said, draw hearts, and it looks really cute for Valentine's Day.
Cheryl says 3 egg whites, 1/4 teaspoon cream tartar, 1 teaspoon vanilla,
1/2 teaspoon of vanilla.
3 cups sugar. What kind?
3/4 of a cup. Okay, so it's 3 egg whites, 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar, a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, and
3/4 cups.
3/4 cup of granulated sugar.
And in this house, it's pure cane sugar.
Pure cane sugar, because I kept telling John something was the matter with my coffee. I told you I've been the judge for the state fair and all. For some reason, I really noticed things. And I kept saying, John, my coffee's not right, because he brings me coffee every morning up to bed. And I'm like, my coffee's not right. And we finally figured out that the sugar was no longer, that we were purchasing, no longer pure cane sugar, and it made such a difference. So
Judy says, I was always in the world books.
you can put this in a piping bag and pipe it out. I mean, there are all kinds of things. If you wanted to do the heart shape and pipe it and all, it would look really beautiful. If I was working in a bakery, that's probably what I would do. If I have the big one, I would put it in the oven for 1.5 hours. These are the small ones. I'm putting it in the oven for 1 hour at 225. Then after the hour, I'm going to turn the stove off and leave it for another hour. So let me just put the timer on.
Yes, Jude.
So here's what the picture looks like in my cookbook. Now I taught international cooking, and I had this Betty Crocker international cookbook, and the kids would we'd pick a country, and the kids would make the recipe. Most of the stuff I never tried before.
Hi, Lori. Good to see you.
We use some other cookbooks also, but this is really a good one. And that's where the Pavlova, and it shows a traditional one with kiwi. And they just made one circle, and I'm going to say it's probably 8 inches or 9 inches. And you could put it in a pan if you want. I've always just done it on a cookie sheet.
Hey, Stephanie, good to see
So
you.
let me just clean these couple things. I'm here, John.
Jude said that's so sweet of him.
But it was really fun letting the kids pick stuff. And sorry I'm out of sight. I'm right here, but I'm right here.
Don't go away.
Don't go away. But I want to get these few things washed up with soap. And that's the other thing too. Make sure when you're doing the egg whites that everything's impeccably clean, because one drop of oil on that.
Krista said, I thought you were making a birthday cake.
Yeah, it could
LOL.
be a birthday cake. It would make a nice birthday cake. You could drizzle it with chocolate if you wanted. You can really deviate, and you'll see what I'm doing with it.
Candy says, what a fun way to teach your students.
Yeah, that was a fun class. And then, like one marking period, the kids would pick something they wanted to make and demonstrate it for everybody. They would give me a shopping list. You should see what it was like when I had to go to the grocery store and shop for 100 kids. So like Thanksgiving, we made each class 5 classes of at least 20 kids. We made turkey dinner. So 5 turkeys were roasted in the oven. I'd put them in.
Ada says Betty Crocker is one of her favorite cookbooks.
Yeah.
Stephanie says, my home economics teachers were never as fun as you are.
Yeah, I told you the parents would come in to drop kids off or something. I would sometimes do things after school.
9:30.
Okay. So I'm going to go back to the mixer, and I'll tell you, I bought this one years ago, and it's been really come in handy. I have a hand mixer, but I'll have to make marshmallows again, because that's really a fun project. Maybe I'll make, well, I'll see. I'm on tomorrow night, but I haven't firmed up for sure. I could make marshmallows tomorrow night, or I might not have the ingredients, so. And I was bragging about how great that little store is that we get our groceries. And he posts on Facebook he thinks he's closing, that not enough people support him. And that's really sad.
Hi, Georgia. Good to see you.
So I've got heavy cream. Now, when John and I met, John had never had, you want to open this, hon? Real whipped cream. He was used to the kind in the can or Cool Whip. And then once he found out how good whipped cream tasted, even if he just wants to put some on hot chocolate or something, I can never open those things.
They don't open like they used to.
Even when I was young, trying to get the chocolate milk open at school, well, I was never
Candy
supposed
said,
to.
I was just going to ask you if you would make marshmallows again.
Yeah, they're so good. I used to make them every year with the kids for Valentine's. So people would say, whoa, what are you making this week? And I'd say, we make s'mores. And they're like, yeah, what else are you making? I'm like, that's a lot of work making s'mores. The kids would make homemade graham crackers, homemade marshmallows.
Getting hearts.
Oh, thanks for the hearts. And then, like, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday was making that, and something else, marshmallows. And then Thursday, they would make s'mores, and Friday, they would make hot chocolate, but actually make the hot chocolate, not use the mix or whatever. And the kids really enjoyed that. That was a fun winter project. So the hardest part of this is getting the heavy cream opened up.
Yeah, look.
Looks like
It's not like the old days where it would just split right open. It's like sealed. It's hermetically sealed, Mare.
So it's so disappointing. So the store that we love so much, all winter we would get our produce and our things. We would just call in, they'd pull it for us, and then they'd bring it out. And it's just a tiny store, but apparently people don't support a mom and pop store anymore. John's still trying to open the cream.
I've never seen such a difficult one.
We should have opened it the other way.
Yeah, maybe. Uh-oh.
He almost has it, guys. It's
Finally gave way.
It's looking promising. So, but John just loves homemade whipped cream. And what did we make?
That's the best.
Oh, when we made the chocolate covered pretzels, and there was still stuff stuck in the pan and all, I put some milk in there and just heated it up. And then John made...
Talking about your birthday cake you made.
Yeah. Oh, the birthday cake I made. That was for a few people's birthday. Krista, Judy's. Who else had? I forget who all
No,
had.
it wasn't. That's where the arrows were, Candy.
What's that?
I said it wasn't at the other end.
Yeah, no, it was the right end. It was the right end.
Yes, I ate it.
Oh, the birthday cake?
Yep.
And I don't know whether you guys put anything other than sugar in your whipped cream.
I said I good to see you. She said, yep, that's happened to her too.
Can't get those darn things open. And I don't know how the little kids sometimes open their... I guess they still drink milk at lunchtime. When we were young, there was no choice. It was just white milk. Just white milk, no chocolate. And you don't hear about strawberry quick anymore. Remember, that was popular for a while. So we'll just make some whipped cream here. How's our time, John?
9:45.
And I told you I just enjoy this mixer. Now, if we're making a small batch of whipped cream, normally we just use the little hand mixer. And the one thing that kids didn't know...
Yeah, it was stubborn, Candy.
One thing that kids didn't know was what happened if they overmixed the heavy cream. They didn't know that's how they got butter. So I think that was the time that we made the lavender butter here.
Michelle says it was Krista, Jeannie, and herself.
Oh, okay.
For the birthday.
It was fun.
Yum.
But we made lavender butter the one time in the beginning when John knocked the phone off, and we had all that lavender stuff in the lavender spa, and what else did we make? Oh, lavender lemonade. That is so good. So now we have the whipped cream. How many people, when they were young, I guess younger people don't, but people old like myself, when I was young, the teacher would read right before Thanksgiving this Thanksgiving story, and it was like a colonial style story, and they would put the heavy whipped cream in an old mayonnaise jar and fill it like halfway, and then you would shake it and you pass to the next person, they would shake it, they'd pass it all around every few minutes, and you kept going until, what's the face?
God, I never heard of that.
Didn't you?
No.
See, I have good memories of things like that.
I don't ever
You may have done
remember
it,
doing
but you
anything
wouldn't
like-
remember. But passed it all around, and everybody shook it and shook it and shook it and shook it. It's a great project to do with little kids. And yeah, that after-school program, I don't think I did that for Thanksgiving. I'm trying to
Steffi says
remember.
you can adjust the beater. It should be hitting your bowl. We can watch YouTube
Yeah.
to adjust it.
Yeah, it was
Okay,
hitting the
Steph,
bowl.
thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
Senna says, love anything lavender.
Yeah, and then
Senna says, mother would make homemade gingerbread and we topped it with whipped cream. Delicious.
yeah. So the teacher, do you want to unplug that, hon? the teacher would pass it around and tell the story, and usually everybody's arms would be killing them from shaking that thing. And then when we were finished, she would, it would be butter, and she would pull out saltines and just a little knife, because back then it would be an overindulgent to have plastic. We never had plastic. And I think you might have had like a piece of paper towel or something, and you would get one little swoop of butter on a saltine cracker. And of course she would serve it, because otherwise kids would be going wild and crazy. Like John would have heaped up the butter, and then the last child would get none. But do you have fond memories of that? I know when I was in a practicum, I guess it was even before my practicum, I thought I had this program, so I made, it was for first grade. I had to do a food project, and maybe I was about 25. So I go to the school, and I never taught or didn't really know too much. I was in graduate school. I went and I was going to do vegetable soup with the kids. So I had paper plates and plastic knives, and there was like the celery team and the onion team and the carrot team and all these teams, and they prepared all the different vegetables, each team, potato team, and at the end we had, string bean team, we had vegetable soup. And at that time, like before that, I never really knew about kids having allergies, but at that time I had to get everything approved for the first grade kids, because they said there were kids with allergies. But it was fun. The kids chopped up, each team chopped up and prepared their vegetables. And then the kids were allowed to sample like a little piece of carrot, a little piece of onion, a little piece of celery, whatever they wanted to sample, what it tastes like raw. And then I had a crock pot, a big one, and I had made the soup at home, already cooked it all. And then the kids got a cup and they got the vegetable soup. And I ran out of, like I was supposed to do it for like 2 hours, and it was like an hour and 45 minutes. And I'm like, that's close enough. And the teacher's like, oh, are you finished? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, oh, okay. Well, we're still not finished. So she runs over and gets a stack of paper, gives everybody a paper, and she said, now, you really like that soup and you want to make it at home, so you make your recipe. So the kids drew all the little pictures of how they made the vegetable soup. And I just remember how, like, an inexperienced person versus an experienced person, like, you wouldn't just leave 15 minutes with first graders with nothing to do. So it was really kind of fun.
Brenda says, I have an electric butter churn we used when I grew up, and it still works, and she's 75.
Wow.
And Debbie's, I got a bunch. Debbie says, I worked at a daycare, and we did it with the kids. Candy says, yes, I was going to say, and then spread the homemade butter on the saltine crackers. So exciting and special. And Stephanie's telling us about you put a dime at the bottom of the bowl, and it shouldn't touch it, and it'll be quiet, not make a bunch of noise.
Put a dime.
Thanks, Stephanie. We'll check that out.
Put a dime where?
Appreciate that.
Oh, okay, I'll have to read that.
Senna says, love butter on crackers. Sherry says, hey Sherry, good to see you. I used to own a daycare for 17 years. We did all kinds of stuff like that. So much fun. She cherishes those days with the kids. Krista says, we had a gas station that had blueberry lavender cappuccino, and they discontinued it. But it was so delicious.
This is an antique butter churn, and it's full of dust. We haven't gotten to the kitchen to house clean yet, so, but this is, you can't even imagine.
That's heavy.
Yeah, it is heavy, heavier than I wanted to lift. I pulled something in my neck, and so of course everything is somewhat painful. So everybody says they like the little tablescapes, and it's not a really involved one. And actually, John, I should have grabbed a couple of the hard things to put on here from the other room, but we'll put the dish towel down. And you can see that, can't you? There's a delay. Let me see where the plates are. It's hard, I want to make sure that you can see. Okay, you can see pretty much. Is it better to push them away or pull them towards me?
Maybe down that way.
Down this way? Okay. And I have the red napkins. And if you guys watched the other night, I have a lot of napkins. And I've been folding and putting things in drawers. You'll be so proud of me how organized I am again. And I just happened to make...
You can't see that.
I can't see that. I just happened to make a batch of these ahead because I figured you don't want to wait an hour and a half to bake and another hour in the oven with the stove off.
Brenda says her sister had the crock and I had the churn. If we had a little cream, we'd shake it in a gallon canning jar until we got butter.
Isn't that neat? Yeah, kids don't know anymore where anything comes from. I was surprised. Even like high school kids. And you put the white on white. The whipped cream on top of the...
Hi Ada with an AI, good to see you.
Hi Ada.
Thanks for sprinkling, Ada.
You put the whipped cream on top. So it's really beautiful when you have the big one too. And you can make a big heart shape. You can make these small heart shapes. We have whipped cream left, John will probably eat that. And
Thanks
then
for the hearts, everybody.
I told you that store, how wonderful it is. And look at the strawberries that came from there. Now when we have strawberries in the winter we eat oatmeal every morning. If we have strawberries on the, got some meringue on there, on the oatmeal, generally John will cut the strawberries and when you put them in a Pyrex cup,
Yeah, that one.
put them in the Pyrex cup and put them in the microwave just for a few seconds. Thanks for the hearts, guys. He put them in the microwave for a few seconds and microwave them, and that makes them so much more flavorful. You don't even add sugar, do you?
No.
Just microwave them. I always tell him, I give him instructions, and then I never know how he does it after that. So I'm going to take one of these beautiful strawberries, and it's really kind of a shame. And you can put them in a pattern or whatever you want to do. It can be as fancy as you want. My glasses keep slipping down. But I'll cut it. And like I said, traditionally it was the kiwi.
Senna says it's beautiful fruit.
And I remember when kiwi, my best friend from college and all, she was my roommate and my best friend. She came to visit me in 1975 or 76. And where I lived, there was a nice little produce store. And I'm just going to put the whole strawberry right in the center. Oh boy, I can feel him salivating already. I told you that before, guys, the trick. If you're in a restaurant and they're reading the specials, I don't listen to what they're reading. I listen to whether they swallow and kind of move their mouth. If it's something that they think is really delicious, they'll swallow a few times when they're telling you about it. Or somebody telling you about a restaurant. Listen, look and see, because if it's something good, they'll start salivating. And a lot of times the special is some food that is on the cusp of not being so great. It's older, and then they'll make it a special, and they'll actually charge you more money for food that isn't in pristine condition. And you'll notice if the waitstaff's telling you, they'll have a dry mouth.
Senna says it looks delicious.
So this is my
Yeah, I think you did, Candy.
What's that?
Heard me swallow and drool.
Yeah, but this is how I did it. You can put the kiwi, you can make it heart-shaped, you can make it as involved as you wanted. I had another story I was going to tell them, and now I forget what it was. But to me, this reminds me of a Valentine's sweetheart dessert, and you saw how simple and easy it is to make.
Getting the hearts.
Thanks for the hearts, guys. So have you had meringue before?
That's how it looks.
So I should move. How should I move them that they can see them better?
Thinking it goes down that way.
This way?
I'm thinking, but we'll see.
Because
everything's opposite.
Everything's the opposite. And John and I are older. And yeah, I was telling people we're like everybody's parents' age.
Yep, that worked.
That looks better. So this one maybe should even come even closer.
Yep.
And then we have our forks and our, can put our forks even on the plate. All good to go. But there was another story I was going to tell you too. But it's just
so lower the camera a little bit too.
You want to do that? Take it down a hair? So
we'll take it down a hair, guys. Don't get dizzy.
I'll slump down. When I was teaching, you know, you try to be friendly with the kids, but I never wanted to be friends with the kids. I never wanted to be cool and down with the kids and that sort of thing.
Lori says it looks so delicious. Linda G says looks yummy. Brenda says she had teal meringue on pies, banana pudding before.
Oh boy, that's good. Lemon
Carol
meringue
says
pie.
the first time I had it, she was in Budapest. Candy says it looks so pretty and yummy. Judy says yummy. Bernice says yummy.
But I had a counter that was higher than this, and I would pretend first like I was going down, oh, I got to go to the basement and get something. You pretend like you go down the steps. And then if a kid did something good, I said, okay, you can come and see the basement, and they would pretend like they're doing it. And I had all windows along the side, and I'd let them pretend like if they were, a reward would be to go outside and pretend like you were rowing by on a canoe. But some fun things. And it was sad. I had cancer and all sorts of things and taken some really bad falls. And my oncologist told me I just couldn't keep up the pace of doing it. But who thinks they would try making...
Claudia says this is beautiful. She loves it. So good.
Who thinks they would make this dessert?
Ada with an AD says it looks delicious. She's already there salivating.
Yeah, hop in the car and head up. We still have two.
Ada.
We have two left, and then we have 4 more in here, and they'll last if I put them in a Ziploc bag and seal them. I'm swallowing just thinking about them. It's terrible hovering over this. You could drizzle some like chocolate on it. You could put chocolate shavings. Once you make it once, you can see there's all sorts of deviations. I made the forgotten cookies a while ago on here, and it's meringue, and you put chocolate chips in it, and you make like little dollops for cookies. Put it in the oven, turn the oven on to like 350 or something like that. Put them in the oven, turn the oven off when it's preheated then. Put the cookies in, turn the oven off, and then they sit overnight, and they're perfect in the morning. John.
Senna says, yes, indeed, and you were getting hearts again.
Oh, thanks. John's over here dying. Do you want to take a bite of it, John?
No, I'll wait.
He'll wait.
It's 8 more minutes.
He'll have it all over his face, and like when he had that 7-minute icing, if you remember that, he was covered with it, and I'm like, John, what are you doing? I came down, he was washing the dishes, the cake's right here, and he's eating it right out of the whole cake, and icing is all over his face.
That's the best icing ever.
Yeah, he says it's the best icing he ever had. I'll make that.
Thanks for the hearts again.
Thanks for the hearts, guys. So I'll make that again. I'll make like that deep, dark, delicious Hershey's chocolate cake. And then you put that 7-minute icing on it, and I don't even remember how I made it. Do you?
No, I'm not going to remember how
I
you
don't
made
even
it. I just
remember
remember you
what-
had to beat it for 7 minutes.
Yeah, you have to beat it for 7 minutes. But this was really easy, and you should try making it. It looks much fancier, and I made it, like I said, like I used to have ladies in all the time for
Brenda wants to know,
crafts.
is the baked meringue very hard now?
Crunchy.
You could tap on it, can't you?
Yeah, I'll take
With the
another
fork.
one.
Thanks for the hearts again, guys.
It's crunchy on the outside, and it should be a little bit moist in the middle. A little bit soft and moist in the middle. But the outside's a bit crunchy, but it's not browned. That's why I like to keep an eye on it. If it gets brown, then it gets, it's still great, crunchy and all, but the traditional one is like this. And I told you I've been the culinary judge for the state fair, and so I'd always be reading material. Back then it wasn't the internet, and so you'd have to read and make sure that things came out the way they're supposed to. And we watched the great British Bake Off. Do you guys watch that? And they give them stuff to make, and some of it they've never heard of, and they don't really give them the exact recipes, and then they try to make it from the directions. It's
Like
really
the
big.
challenge or something?
Yeah, it's
That's
the challenge. And we really enjoyed watching that, and I said to John, I would probably fail. I don't remember any of the stuff. I used to know a lot of things by heart.
Oh, and didn't you say to check how they're supposed to check if they're following?
Oh, yeah. So, Facebook, for some reason, has dropped a lot of followers from the different craft people. So I would appreciate if you think you're following, please check, because everybody says their numbers are going down. Facebook is taking a lot of people off. So if you wouldn't mind taking a minute to see if you're following us, if you want to follow us, to see if you're following us, to make sure you are, if you think you are. And if you're not following us, we'd love to have you follow. And if you let me know, like, I'm looking for ideas. Do you want more crafts? Do you want more cooking? We have a couple, like I know we gave you the tour of the bathroom before, and then we have something, not like another tour of a room, but something fun, kind of like to show you, and John would do that, but something fun. And do you like when John builds, or would you just prefer us to craft? What was your favorite project? If you think about it, what project did you really enjoy seeing?
Thanks for the hearts.
Yeah, thanks for the hearts,
Candy
guys.
says, so perfect, looks like a cloud and done exactly right.
Oh,
And
thanks.
Brenda says, where will you shop since the store is closing?
Yeah, we'll have to go to a bigger store and go online and order it from a bigger store. But you never know
Candy said she checked, she's still following.
Oh, thank you. We know this store, like we asked, what looks good? And you know, it's the owner you're getting, and he takes pride in what he has. And if you live in our area, it's the Palmyra Fresh
Produce of Palmyra.
Fresh Produce of Palmyra. But you saw those strawberries. He tries to get really nice things, and they're fair prices. Every once in a while he gets a bargain and he passes that on. You could get a whole flat of strawberries a couple times for like $8, the whole flat. But he tries to get really nice produce, and you know, ask him, how are the grapes? How do the grapes look today? How do the strawberries look? And he'll say, oh, they were a little high. You might not want to pay the money for them, or I didn't even get them because
Hey Laura, good to see
they
you.
were expensive.
She said it looks quite yummy.
And then he would go over to Philadelphia to the ethnic neighborhoods and get some of the things, the bread and the, it's not called pizza, what's the thicker one called?
Tomato pie.
Tomato pie, which is kind of like,
says yes, following.
kind of
She
like
checked.
like a thick pizza.
Thanks, Donna. Candy says, I love seeing parts of your home. I enjoy you creating from things that you have and old crafts renewed.
Yeah, well, wait till you see. I've gotten a little further in that sewing room. I know it was like a shocker to some people. And that's not even, I mean, there's stuff in the barn and a couple containers in the basement. But I want to get it under control, and I want to take you on a tour. I've been pulling things that I want to show you that old crafts, and maybe you'd be interested. Like I did that weaving the one time, and just used cardboard so that anybody could try the weaving. It was a very simple project. And there's just, oh, and I made pot holders the one time, because how fun were they when we were young and made them. And I know it's just a simple, silly thing, but a lot of the crafts I do are more involved. But, you know, it's fun sometimes to do a throwback project.
So, hey, thanks again. It's that time, and we've been participating in the Stand Tall crafting event today, and the crafting group. And again, Krista, we always say thanks for allowing us to be here. It's always a privilege and an honor. We always have fun. And again, we thank you for that. And remember to join. It's a free group. If you haven't had a chance to watch and enjoy the other crafters today, please go back and check them out on the replay.
And it's fun. Everybody does something different.
And Linda says she likes cooking, table settings, tours, chats, and crafting. Linda Former.
Oh, okay.
And you have about 1 minute.
Yeah, so I hope you
Thanks,
enjoyed.
With an AD.
I hope you enjoyed this today. It looks like a fancy thing, but it's simple. I try to make a lot of things
Krista
that.
says she's ready to take a taste test. Claudia says she loves all the things you do all the time.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks.
The felting.
Thank you. She said big hugs.
The felting was
You
really
too,
fun.
Carol.
I try to make it so that
Thanks, Linda.
you don't need to buy a lot, and it's a fun thing, and you shouldn't have to stress over it.
10 o'clock.
Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. You know, 1 minute from now, I'll take a picture of John with his dessert, and I'll take a couple pictures beforehand. But I hope you try it, and again, if you have any questions, just send me a message.
Okay, everybody. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys, and thanks, Krista, for including us.
Thanks for your time, and have a good night.